Hello and welcome to Let's Play Project Zomboid, Episode 6 with Special Agent Fox Mulder. It's the start of Day 8 in Riverside, Kentucky. So it's a bit of a dreary day outside, so I'm going to do a little bit of much needed base organization. I'm going to try to talk as much as I can during this, but forgive me if I get repetitive. There's only really so much you can say when you're moving crap around between shelves. So this big closet here in the hall, it's going to be like a utility closet with sort of like household type things. So for right now, it's going to have my cabbage seeds, duct tape, garbage bags, the garden fork, matches, lighter, and a mousetrap. And I've cleared everything else out. This leather jacket that I found, I'm going to put in this wardrobe that's in the bedroom. There's some useless stuff already in this wardrobe. Like the acoustic guitar, for example. Acoustic guitars are cool, but they don't serve any purpose in the zombie apocalypse. What am I going to do with this acoustic? I don't know, I think I'm going to place it on the floor over here. I might use it as a weapon to kill a couple of Zeds with, and then when it breaks, just put it in the broken weapon pile. We've got this dress that serves no purpose. I'm actually going to rip the dress up. I think this is the first time I've done it in this playthrough, but most clothing items you can rip up into strips, and then those strips are used to fortify your clothing using the tailoring skill. You also get a chance to get thread when you rip up clothing. So I'm going to rip up this dress. So now my inventory has 4 ripped sheets. It doesn't say it, but these are just regular cloth, as opposed to denim or leather. So 4 ripped cloth sheets. It also generated a dirty rag, which is like the dirty version of a ripped sheet. And I did not get any thread. So I'm going to use this other half of the wardrobe to store the ripped sheets, just in case I decide to become a tailor later on in the playthrough. In the other side of the wardrobe, there's underpants. Those are useless. A bikini, useless. And a closed umbrella. The closed umbrella can be used as a weapon, so I'm going to put it over next to the acoustic guitar and maybe use it to take out some Zeds later. But now my wardrobe in here is organized into a leather jacket on one side of it and some ripped sheets on the other side. It is morning, so let's go ahead and eat. Got another mango that went stale. I've now gained a kilo. I'm up to 79 with 2 upward chevrons. So I'm outside. I'm going to dump some of that junk outside so that it isn't taking up space in my base. So the bikini, the dirty rag, the electric wire, the fancy shoes, I'm going to stash on a zombo so that they can despawn with the zombie. Same thing with the shoes and the underpants. Like I said before, you can dump items straight on the ground, but This is not really advised because eventually it will make the game slow because the game has to render all of those little items on the ground. And the zombie corpses will despawn, so they're a nice convenient way to get rid of trash that you don't want. You know, I really don't like going out this front door because the visibility is terrible, so I'm gonna only go out the sliding glass door from now on. This bedroom doesn't have anything useful in it. I might turn this into a storeroom or something at some point. Nothing particularly useful in the laundry room either. The bathroom. This is 2 sinks. Just arbitrarily, I think I'm going to decide to put soap in one sink. And medicine in the other sink. So the medicine sink has bandages, antibiotics, beta blockers, lipstick, which is useless. So I'm going to grab that. Painkillers, a razor. Let's put the razor in the soap sink. Sleeping tablets, and strawberry blonde hair dye. The hair dye, I think you can actually use it to dye your character's hair, but I've never done that. It sounds kind of silly. Out here in the dining room, I forgot that there are these shelves here. The shelves have a little bit of dry goods in them. Some chips, chocolate, crackers, and split peas. So I'm going to put those in the place where they're supposed to go. There's also a dish towel that I found on those shelves. The dish towel is useful to clean up bloodstains. What you do there is you get some bleach and a dish towel, and you can use it to clean up these zombie bloodstains that end up everywhere. Do a little zombie cleanup in the backyard here. Drop that zombo in the street. Let's go ahead and put the strawberry hair dye and lipstick on that zombie. I still need to board up all these windows. Out in the garage, I'm going to stash the rope and the saw. I'm not sure how I want to organize this garage quite yet. The the flashlight, because this game was made by Brits, they call it a hand torch, which I find to be just so endearing. I'm going to grab that and put it in the hall closet. Kind of seems like something that would be more at home in the hall closet than the garage. Got this plank that I picked up way earlier in the playthrough. So I'm going to use that to board up a window. So when you board up windows, every window can take 4 boards, and each board has its own health bar. So you would think that putting all 4 boards on each window would be the best thing to do, right? Well, not exactly, because if you have 1 board on the window, you can see through it. If you have 2 boards on the window, you can still see through it. But if you have 3 boards or 4 boards on the window, you can't see through the window at all. So it's as if it has a permanent curtain. And I don't know, I kind of prefer to be able to see through the window if I want to by lifting the curtain. So I usually only put 2 boards on each window. And 2 boards is more than enough to provide some moderate defense against zombies. I'm in the next door neighbor's house. I disassembled a bed and got a plank. And I'm going to take apart his kitchen table too. Maybe I can get a plank out of that. And this will level my carpentry to level 1. Boom, and I did get a plank. As you level up carpentry, each level gives you access to more crafting recipes with wood. You need level 4 to make the first rain barrel, and you need level 7 to make the good rain barrel. And there's a ton of other wooden constructions you can make at various levels. Also, as you level up carpentry, your barricades become more robust. So even though there's no way to see it, that board that I just put on this window at level 1 has more health than the boards that I put on at level 0. I'm going to keep on boarding up all the windows in my house until every window has 2 boards. Okay, what next? I think I'm going to do a little more neighborhood exploration and gathering of wood for my barricades. Oh, I do need to eat though. Gotta consume all this food. Some of it's starting to go stale already. Just gonna grab a bunch of food here. Take it with me on my adventures. Let's have a gander at the map real quick. So I can cross the street and there's 2 big houses over there, so let's check those out. Slowly but surely, clearing all the Zeds out of my yard. There's 2 of them over here. So let's carefully take care of both of those biters. Got a big house here. The garage door is already open. It's kind of strange. This might be the same floor plan as mine. No, not quite. Let's head on inside and see what we can find. In the garage, close the door behind me. Some shelves. Oh, 2 empty gas cans. 100% gonna take those. A box of screws. I'm not going to take the screws. I will take the plank, though. Wood glue. So you can repair your weapons and tools in this game. Certain weapons and tools can't be repaired. But most of them can with various materials, and wood glue is one of the better or one of the best, I think it is the best tool to repair, sorry, I can't talk. Wood glue is one of the best materials to repair certain tools, like axes. You can use wood glue to restore a lot of condition on an axe. So once I do find an axe, I'll know that I can repair it pretty well with that wood glue. I'm in the master bedroom of this other house. Disassemble the bed, of course. Didn't get a plank. We did get a plank, actually. Grab the plank. Check the nightstand. Check the wardrobe. Closet with a bunch of cardboard boxes. That one's got paint, comic books, and some tools that aren't super useful. The pipe wrench is kind of a good one-handed... Yeah, screw it, I'll take the pipe wrench. The pipe wrench is a pretty good short blunt weapon. This one isn't in great condition, though. It's probably going to break fairly quickly. Got a bathroom with nothing useful in it. So one of these zombies had a pistol on him. Yeah. I think we might be looking at a scene of two people that decided to end it. I found an M9 pistol. So this is like your basic 9mm pistol. And it contains a magazine, which is good. You can find guns in the game that don't have magazines, and they're completely useless without a magazine. But this one does have a mag in it. So now I've got an M9 pistol. No ammo for it, though, except for those 11 bullets in the mag. Got a little bedroom there, nothing useful. TV area with 2 bookcases. Metalworking Magazine Volume 2. I'm gonna grab that. What about this bookshelf here? Nope. And finally, let's check out the kitchen. Corn and a pear. It's not super useful. I am going to eat the corn, though. I think the corn is high in calories, at least relatively. Some canned goods. Spaghetti bolognese is one of the better canned goods, so I'm going to grab that. Chocolate and flour. Some rotten bread. Crackers and pancake mix. Crackers kind of suck, but I am going to take the pancake mix. Go ahead and mark this house off. Remember to keep eating my food. The song on the soundtrack that's playing now is called Touch and Go. It's my favorite track in the soundtrack. Highly recommend it. You should go ahead and YouTube it and download it. It's a great song. Great soundtrack. Great soundtrack track. So I'm going to barricade this kitchen window with a double plank. Now that one's got 2. And I'm going to do the same to... Actually, there are windows on the side that I haven't barricaded yet. Yeah, I got this one here that goes to the bathroom. I'm going to barricade that one. store some food. Chocolate, flour, pancake mix go in the dry stores. Spaghetti bolognese goes with the cans. Okay. Put these gas cans out here. I now have 8 gas cans. So if you have items stored away in your bag, it takes a little bit of extra time to unpack the item from your bag. So if you try to get something out of the bag and it looks like your character is fiddling with it for a while, that's because they're just unpacking it. Let's continue on. Eat that peanut butter sandwich. Still gaining weight, which is good. Check for biters around the perimeter of the house. I don't see any. Head on inside. Already a broken window. Always remember to remove the broken glass from the window frame before stepping inside, and there's a zombie inside. Gonna come outside. Oh boy. That's what happens. That's what happens. So, what just happened is he lunged at me and tripped me. And I fell down, and it takes your dude like a good 2 seconds or 3 seconds to climb up after getting knocked down. So if there are other biters around, you can be royally screwed by that. Luckily I was able to get away from that one. I think I'm gonna have to be a little more careful so I don't lose my playthrough here. This is a game where an abundance of caution and just playing it safe will ensure long life for your guy. Disassembling a bed here. I got 1 nail and a plank. Go ahead and take apart this video game. Oh, okay. These 2 shelves have pasta and rice. 2 of your staple dry goods. Ton of calories. Definitely taking that. Going up to the garage. I'm gonna take the tire pump. So, as you might imagine, 2 more gas cans. As you might imagine, the tire pump lets you inflate your tires if they get low on air. And believe it or not, that does have an effect on the car's handling and condition. In the hall closet, I found another crowbar. Gonna take that. And I found another hammer. Also found another hand torch, which I'm gonna leave, and a toolbox with something inside of it. What's in the toolbox? I think it's wood glue. Yep, it's wood glue. That's a pretty good find. Master bedroom here. Dismantle some earbuds. Dismantle the master bed. take a look at my carpentry skill. It's 150 XP to get to the next level. And it's 10 XP per bed, so I have about 12 more beds to go before I level up carpentry to level 2. And by the way, if I had read the carpentry skill book, that would be proceeding 3 times as fast. On the flip side, it takes like a couple of days of reading every night to read the entire carpentry skill book, so a little bit of a trade-off. So in this little office here, I found a gun case in the desk. I'm going to place that on the ground and see what's inside of it. The gun case has a Magnum and a box, 2 boxes of 44 Magnum rounds. That is a pretty decent find, so I'm going to grab it. Getting pretty solidly over encumbered. I also found a sewing kit on the desk here. So let's see what's inside the sewing kit. Nothing is inside the sewing kit. However, there is some loose thread sitting on the desk, so I'm going to grab that thread. Thread is used as a raw material to craft in the tailoring system. Every time you sew strips of clothing onto your existing clothes for defense boost, use up a little bit of thread. So you need to keep track of having thread in your inventory. Thread is also used to sew up wounds. If you get like a deep laceration, you can actually use a needle and thread to sew it up, and it will keep it from bleeding as much. Yeah, I'm pretty over encumbered. Back at the base here, let's go ahead and double plank the bedroom windows. Head on out to the garage and stash some stuff out here. Tire pump. It's gonna go on the floor of the garage. The wood glue I'm gonna put with my tools. I'm gonna put that hammer on the tool shelf to add to my hammer collection. The saw. I can't remember if this is the saw that I keep in my inventory. Yeah, it's my inventory saw. Let's continue carrying that around. These guns are actually pretty heavy, so I'm gonna just store them in my all-American armory. Where'd that Magnum go? Here it is. And I'm going to stash the boxes of Magnum ammo on the floor. Got this extra crowbar. Let's put that on the floor of the armory as well. Twine and electronics go out here in the garage. Pasta and rice need to go in the dry stores. Pasta and rice go in the dry stores, yep. The garbage bags are lightweight, they can just stay for now. 2 more gas cans. Stash them outside, of course. Now I've got 10 of those. Move this Zombo out into the street. Some coyotes howling in the background. Let's go ahead and finish looting this second big house here. Alright, so I haven't gone in these 2 doors yet. That's a laundry room. Some bleach. I'm gonna leave that bleach there for now. Bathroom with a plunger, not useful. Bookcase with nothing useful in it. And finally, the kitchen. Butter. Every stick of butter that you find has 3,200 calories. So butter is a good find. In the freezer, I've got peas, pork chop, and shrimp. I'm going to take the pork chop and leave the rest of it. Take some canned peaches. Under the sink, we got oats, honey, and maple syrup. These are all good dry foods. Chips, black peas, chickpeas, and pasta. All good dry foods. What's on the stove? It's a pot of rotten soup. Gross. And might as well disassemble this dining room table while we're at it. So there's one other thing that I wanted to talk about game mechanics wise in this game, and that is something called the helicopter event. So this is the kind of thing that Agent Mulder would have no idea about, so we kind of have to hand wave it away for the purposes of role-playing. But in every game of Project Zomboid, there is a thing that happens called the helicopter event. So somewhere between day 7 and day 20-ish. So in the first 1 to 3 weeks of being in the game, there will be a helicopter that shows up. Now, you might be tempted to think, oh, it's a rescue helicopter, or it's the military coming to save me from the zombos. Well, that's not the case at all. The helicopter instead just flies around, following you everywhere you go, hovering above you, and it creates an absolutely insane amount of noise. And what do we know that zombies love? They love noise. So the helicopter event is like one of the most challenging things in the entire game is surviving the helicopter event. If it happens while you're outside, the helicopter will follow you around like the entire day, and it will draw just insane freaking legions of zombies. You can hide from the helicopter, you can go into crouch mode, stealth mode, try to run into the forest, try to sneak around to avoid it, but it's still going to kind of loiter around, just drawing zombies from everywhere. We're talking hundreds to thousands of zombies getting drawn to wherever you are. So we really don't want to be outside when the helicopter event happens. If it does show up while you're inside in your house, if you crouch in place and just kind of chill hiding inside the house, it will eventually go away without seeing you and without hovering above your house. But since we're getting into the second week of the playthrough here, we really have to be on guard for the helicopter. There's no explanation in the game for what this helicopter is or who it belongs to, but I like to imagine it's like CNN News, just like flying a news chopper over the zombie apocalypse, following this one survivor around, for ratings, of course. And, dooming the survivor to getting eaten in the process. So long story short, if we hear the sound of a helicopter, we need to hide and stay hidden the entire day. Now, this poses a little bit of a problem for role-playing because Agent Mulder would have no idea that the helicopter event always happens in Project Zomboid. But I suppose we can imagine that he's heard rumors of news choppers flying around, just causing excessive noise. So, I guess with a stretch, we can imagine that Mulder knows to hide if he hears a helicopter. So I'm going to store all my dry food. So much of this game is putting stuff in containers, I swear. This game is like a zombie apocalypse, put stuff in container simulator. Alright, I got one plank in my inventory, so let's go ahead and barricade a window. Wow, it's really dark now. Just take a gander around first. Okay. I think we're about done for the day. Let's do a little bit more inventory management before we go to bed. Close up those curtains. The metalworking magazine I'm going to read before bed. I already read this good cooking magazine, so let's go ahead and put that on the shelf. We got this Louisville map. Looks like the west side of town, by the river. I think that's the Ohio River. Let's look at our big map here, and we see that, yeah, sort of this western section by the river just got revealed. Garbage bags, lighter, and matches go in the hall closet. The thread I'm going to keep in my inventory because once I find a needle, I will be able to use the thread to sew up wounds. I'm not watching my hunger. It looks like I gained weight back to 80 kilos, but I no longer have the chevrons, so let's go ahead and start eating some food. I found 4 jars of mayonnaise at the Gigamart. Each jar is 3,000 calories, and the mayonnaise expires. You can eat the mayonnaise straight out of the jar. It gives you a boredom and unhappiness penalty, but in my judgment, it's better to gain the weight and get unhappy and then just remove the unhappiness. So I just ate half a jar of mayo and now my double up chevrons are back. Stash the Louisville map. Alright, one other thing I'd like to do before we go to bed is I want to cook up some of this meat. I have all this meat that I found. All this meat that I found in my various adventures, and I want to cook it all up and start eating it. If I don't do that, it's just going to go bad. That power outage is coming at any point. I think it's just a random number, but I think the power can go out anywhere between day 0 and day 30. The vast majority of my playthroughs, the power has lasted at least a week, usually 2. So we should be fine, but I do want to get this perishable food eaten up before it spoils. So I just placed all this food, chicken, mutton chop, oysters, and shrimp in the fridge, or sorry, in the oven. First it unthaws, and then it cooks. And you have to watch the status of each one, because if you leave it in there for too long, it'll burn. And there's also a chance of it starting a fire. So the chicken and the mutton chop are going to take a little longer to cook, but the oysters and the shrimp cooked up quick, so I'm going to go ahead and eat those. Oysters, shrimp. Chicken's done. Mutton chop is still going. Okay, I'm actually too full to continue eating. Okay, so now I have 3 pieces of fresh cooked chicken, 1 fresh cooked mutton chop, and some oysters in my inventory. Double check that I turned the oven off. If you leave that oven on, it can start a fire. I think I'm going to clean up this dining room table a little bit. Picked up this first aid kit from somewhere. Inside it has an adhesive bandage, a suture needle, and a suture needle holder. I'm gonna leave the suture needle holder at home. I am gonna take the suture needle with me on my adventures though, because if I get a deep wound, that suture needle is better at stitching wounds up than a sewing needle would be. Go ahead and eat one of these chickens before I go to bed. Before I head to bed, I'm going to read this metalworking magazine. And I think I'm going to sit on the floor and read my car mechanic book a little bit. Check some stats. 80 kilos and 2 up chevrons. I've killed 133 zombies and I've survived 8 days. I'm going to have Mulder read his mechanic book for a bit and then drift off to sleep. That'll wrap it up. Peace.